Is this essentially, potentially, a race between now and draft day for the 49ers to get him to be less homesick? Is that honestly what it could possibly be?
I mean, I do sense, though, that the 49ers, again, I understand that to the rest of us this is new. To the 49ers, it is not. So, this has gone down a pretty distant path already at this point. That's not to say that they won't continue to try, but I do think that everyone senses that the draft is now 1 week away, and if you are going to remedy this situation in the way that means Deebo leaves the 49ers, it's going to be a lot easier before the draft than it is after. Because after the draft, no longer do we know what kind of picks you're trading for until this next season completes itself. So, again, that comes with a whole different set of complications than the current scenario presents.
Well, I mean, if he wants out in a way that, the Niners just can't rectify, right, by changing their address, wouldn't you counsel, I mean, just you and I talking with everyone else listening in, I guess, Deebo to come out and say, this is not about my usage, this is not about all those mileage at running back, because if I'm trying to trade for Deebo Samuel and I'm willing to give him the contract and I'm on the East Coast and I have the ability to get him closer to home, like, say, Baltimore, which would be dynamite with him, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say, or the Jets, you could throw them out. He's further up the coast from South Carolina. But you want to talk about an AFC team that's as close to South Carolina as possible. Baltimore's probably raising its hands right now.
Man, that's pretty hot.
Furiously raising their hands right now, right? So wouldn't you counsel Deebo to say, yeah, I mean, I'll play running back. We can have a conversation about all of that, because if I'm going to use all this capital, I want the Deebo that I've seen the last several years. That's the guy I want.
I would imagine those conversations are happening. And again, that's where this gets, like, for instance, yesterday I know Deebo had put out a tweet and then deleted it after when he said that, reporters are just going to make up stories, and then everybody was coming at me like I didn't talk to the actual Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, right.
Someone said, are you sure you talked to Deebo Samuel Jr.? I was like, yes, I was speaking to the right person. He was not referencing me when he said that. That being said, I know that, his expression there was basically that he doesn't love the narratives that exist about why, the reasons that people are coming up with about why he wants out. And again, there's only one person who can necessarily fix that, and that is Deebo at this point. But if he can fix that behind the scenes, no harm, no foul. Eventually, the truth will set him free, and I think that's fair, and that could prove to be the case.
Well, the problem is the problem behind the scenes, though, Jeff, is have the Niners actually given his agent Tory Dandy and him the permission to make this known to people?
Good question, and I don't know the answer to that. I do know, the only thing I can tell you is that the 49ers are very aware. They are trying to do their best to remedy the situation, but I do know that the way they'd best like to remedy that is to keep Deebo on his team. So to what extent they're going to facilitate a trade, I don't know at this point where they're at.
But the phone must be ringing. I mean, John Lynch's phone he must turn it off, I would imagine.
I mean, he's such a valuable player, And it is interesting. I had one head coach tell me yesterday that Deebo's best, the best quality of Deebo is his versatility and his ability to play running back and wide receiver. I think the question that teams are now going to have to ask themselves, are we okay paying upwards of $25 to $30 million a year for a player that might not be Devontae Adams as a wide receiver, but has a complementary skill set that makes him different than any other player in the NFL? And there's got to be a team out there that says yes.
If I owned it, that team would be it.
I mean, come on. I don't know. I mean, we're spitballing here, and this is pure speculation, just us talking about it. But you're right. Like the Ravens, the team that has just been trying desperately every single time a wide receiver hits the market to land that guy. I mean, Deebo with Lamar Jackson?
Forget it.
That's dirty.
Correct. Fact. You're not stuttering. That would be dirty, and we have to look up rules in the rule book to see if it's fair or not. I agree. No, the two of them meeting at a mesh point, and then maybe Hollywood Brown taking the top off of a defense because everybody's focused on the play action in the backfield. I mean, and then if one of them gets the ball, one of them's going to run you over, and one will run right.
That's right.
Run through you.
Player that he should be. A speedy number 2 guy. I mean, all I know is I don't even know. I'm not even looking at what kind of draft capital the Ravens have.
14th.
You'd know that better than me.
I've got it right here in front of me. They've got the 14th overall pick, and then they've got a second-round pick, too, 45th overall. I don't know if they give up both.
Do you want to pipe in, John? Do you want to go 3-way John Lynch?
Yeah, let's FaceTime John Lynch.
I'll turn him into Julio Jones on this live television show. If you want to just
straight. We could pop Deebo on too if you want. Maybe see if Deebo has something to say.
There you go.
Make sure that he's cool with this.
Sure, and I'm sure everybody else would be too. You should definitely do that. So I guess last thing for you, Thursday night when we all go on the air for the draft, Deebo's a Niner, yay or nay? What do you think? I know that's a crystal ball question.
That's a great question.
Thank you. What do you think?
I'd love to see what the Vegas odds are on that one, but I'll say no. I'll say no. And normally I'd say yes, but this offseason I have been conditioned to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, man.
Any other year, Rich, I would say, why would the 49ers trade a guy like Deebo? They've got to hold firm.
Right.
This year, I don't believe anything at this point.
Jimmy G still being on the roster with all that money sitting there, that has nothing to do with this right now?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Jimmy, I think, is more about the fact that the guy can't throw the ball yet. He's still recovering, and there's not a team that's really going to want to.
No, I know that, but his money's there, and that money could be, given to.
Right.
That's what I meant by it.
No, I don't think so. I really think this is more than money, man. I know that everybody says it's always money, but like we talked about, sometimes when it's more than money, it's a tough one to rectify because money can certainly cure a lot of things.
Yeah. Does Jed York call up David Tepper and say, hey, how about we'll go to Carolina, you come to San Francisco, win the first ever franchise swap in the history of professional sports? What do you think?
Good.
I don't know if that's possible.
Tepper out in San Francisco.
He's got the cash for it.
Or I'm trying to picture Jed.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.